There we go. Hey, everybody. Can you see us okay? Anybody say hi? And anyone, are you guys looking at the comments too?
I just pulled up the comments right now.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just pulling up the comments right now.
Yep.
There you go. We're on.
All right.
So, we have Tony King. We have Tony King. It's because you just said that's in my head. We have we have the Tone King on. We have Pixie Licks. Robert Baker's gonna be popping in. Oh, and Robert Baker's popping in right now.
On cue.
That was you know what? That was perfectly timed. Like that. And right now, Henning is trying to upload Chrome, so, because his Safari won't let him use Google Hangouts. Yeah, which makes sense. Is it Safari an Apple product?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Google and Apple no likey.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
Robert, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How's everybody doing? I was just trying to find a link to the actual live stream.
I just went to his channel and it's right there.
Okay, I got it now.
Yep.
I wanted to share it.
So many familiar names. Hello, everybody.
Oh yeah. And hey, Robert, when do you go to China?
I leave tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, it's like I leave Sunday, but I get there like Tuesday, or I leave early morning Monday, but I get there Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'll have no clue what's going on, basically.
Just send us the lottery numbers for the next day, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'll keep you guys posted on any like natural disasters or anything. Like,
there you go.
Tell us what happens.
Yeah. All right, guys. On Thursday, get ready.
Get ready.
It looks like Flipside just showed up.
All right.
Flipside?
Yeah, I see Cheddar Kung Pao, RNA Music.
Yeah.
Blackjack,
Everybody.
hello.
Yep.
Quentin James. Watchman, what's going on?
There we go.
I like the medicated one. That's awesome.
You guys have an opinion on the? Oh yeah. So I figured tonight we'd talk. Henning will eventually show up. First of all, you know, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning where he's at. So he just woke up. So that's the first issue.
Phil Smith, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy?
Someone said I need a haircut. I just got my haircut.
Oh,
in your face. In your face.
Oh, look who's here.
Of the hour.
Henning, good morning. Because it's morning.
Oh, you mean it's not 10 o'clock at night over there? Just silent.
It's 4. Wait for Robert. This is this many. This one.
Don't you mean?
Yeah.
Well, good dog.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, who do we have? Phil, my favorite people.
Yeah.
For everyone else watching, you're also my favorite people, but you're really my favorite people. This is cool. Are we live?
We are.
We are live.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, wait, not live yet. Don't worry. Say what.
Yeah. No, you're
Justin.
You're good. Just say whatever.
You suck so hard. Well, if you're live, then I could also. Word slurring.
So Henning, this is going to be your first channel. My channel is a PG-13 channel. So you're,
I know.
So you're gonna have to behave. Yeah.
Do I have to tell bedtime stories or something?
No, just got to behave.
Okay, I
don't have a dump button.
I have a chaperone. Could the chaperone come in? To keep me grounded.
Nice.
I'm liking that Soldano you have in the background there, Henning.
He's looking at the amps.
That's the HR50.
Look who I brought.
Hey there.
Wow.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Hi. Good morning.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
We're like in the middle of the night.
Kiana heard about this shindig you're putting on here, so she decided to stay the night.
Don't even go there.
I'm just in the guest room to hang out with you guys.
See?
In the crazy closet upstairs with all the old Digitech stuff.
Exactly. She slept in your bed, Robert.
I slept in your bed. Apparently, they didn't even change the sheets yet.
Nice.
But you do have my shoes, so.
I do have your shoes. That is correct. What are we talking about?
Okay.
Other than Lewis wanting the Soldano in the back.
We're going to, let's start. I have a couple subjects to talk about because obviously we're going to talk about some Gitcon stuff. Funny thing, there's already a comment I want to bring up. Maxie said, y'all need to talk about a PRS hosting a USA Guitcon. I don't know if you guys got talked to about this, but, you know, they used to do a yearly signature event. Do you guys know what that is? You know,
It's called Experience, right?
Yes. But they're skipping every other year. So they skipped it this year. So next year, Gene, I had put a little bird in Gene's ear about, having us come to the signature event, and they seem really receptive to it. And that was before GitCon. That was when Henning, that's when she was on the fence about coming to GitCon. So
that's where she wanted to invite all of her friends.
Yes.
That she already had, which would have very much excluded me, but now not so much.
Yeah. So you never know. They might do something, and let us all kind of come and hang out.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Mind at all.
Yeah.
Putting on GitCon anywhere other than Germany, we talked about that yesterday. One of the problems is that, like, in the rooms, a good 80-90% of the gear was mine. We drove there with 3 full cars loaded to the brim. So shipping any of that wouldn't really happen.
Well, I don't think they'll have rooms like it. I don't think they're going to do it like GitCon. I think they're entertaining the idea of when they're doing the signature event, letting the YouTubers kind of run ragged, rampant, which is what would be fun. Just let us run around and do what we did.
And of course, treating us like royalty, as they should.
Henning, I was when we got there, and I went into like the 4K room, and I was like, "This is all Henning stuff." It's like the guy's making YouTube videos. It looks like a news station. I wanted to like start broadcasting break news. Henning has some serious gear going on.
One camera was so large it looked like the X-ray machine at my dentist's office. I was like, what is this thing? It was like. It was pretty crazy.
Oh, the Black Magic?
The Black Magic. I was like, huh.
Well, four of the 5 were Black Magic. You mean this thing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was a gear junkie, but I have met my match. Henning, I gotta give it to you, man.
When it comes to cameras, I started with a little webcam like the one I'm looking in now, and then, webcam on the pedal, and my ex-girlfriend loaned me her Canon, which was very nice. And then, she moved and I had to buy like a Nikon. And the problem was focusing it was like, okay, how do I do this? You all know the problems. So it just went from there. And then I wanted to do a live stream thing. And I bought a Blackmagic web presenter. And that's when I started looking at Blackmagic stuff and I started to see their live switching stuff. I thought, well, if I had the web presenter and the live switcher, I could actually do multi-camera stuff live, which so far I haven't really done. But I bought all the stuff. But then with the web presenter, with the live switch, I was like, hey, no, I need to get the bigger one for the 4K. And then it started, I need more 4K cameras. So that's how I discovered all that Blackmagic stuff, which probably YouTubers don't really discover because it's meant for film and TV stuff. So what this thing is
Right.
actually it's called the production 4K camera, and a big screen on it. Takes micro four thirds lenses, and it doesn't have a battery. It needs the 12-volt plug-in power. It doesn't have an SD card slot. It doesn't record on it. So it is only meant for actual live transmission with the SDI outs.
So what does that go to? A Blackmagic switcher?
That goes to a switcher, yeah.
What's the switcher you were using?
The switcher in the 4K room is called the ATEM, ATEM 1ME 4K. It has 10 SDI inputs, but that's the problem for us. All of our cameras, they have HDMI out. So if you want to go into that thing, you need either a converter, which runs you $300 a camera, or you need cameras that have the SDI out. The awesome thing on this is it also has SDI in. So from where I'm sitting, I can actually remote control the cameras in terms of color, exposure, everything.
So Henning, you clearly know more about this than I do all day long, but I had looked into switchers in a while, and Roland makes, I think, a video switcher that's probably more suitable for your average YouTuber. Do you know anything about the Roland unit?
Let me put this away. I've seen them. And they are, for what they offer, if you ask me, they're very expensive.
Oh,
they
interesting.
Don't have a lot of inputs and outputs. They run you quite a bit of money, and in terms of the features, I'm like, nah.
Okay.
So if you the 4K switch is like $2,800, and again, and then you need the accessories to make it work. You need cameras, preferably with SDI, or get the converters. It'll run. I mean, once I started doing this and said I'm committing to the live switching because it's going to save me so much money, I dropped $20K. They were gone quickly. So, but what Blackmagic has is, in the 2 HD rooms at Guitcon, we had the HD switcher called the Production Studio HD. They're about $1,000, so that's not bad. And they have 4 HDMI inputs and then 4 SDI inputs, so you can go 4 cameras HDMI easily. And they also make that one as including a control surface, so it looks like one of those Mackie things. And everything we had in software, you then actually have in hardware. So you don't dedicate a computer to it. And you actually have that on the desk. You can switch the angles. You can do the transitions. You can do everything it does, but in hardware. And that also has 4 inputs. It has XLR inputs for audio. And that runs you $2,500. And that's a nice solution if you also don't want to be tied to a laptop controlling it and doing it with a mouse, but actually have your hands on the switcher. So right now, what we're doing, you could be sitting there having your hand on it and just switch the angles of the cameras.
Cool.
That's a good solution if you don't need 4K. If you want 4K,
well, it's all going to 4K. You make that investment now, you'll be regretting it later, I think.
Yeah, which like the little cameras that you saw in the rooms, these, and that's actually really neat.
Philip, you have a question that came in.
I see it, and it kind of could segue into it. So we're gonna do some round robin kind of questions for everybody, right? And we'll start, I guess, left to right, or Henning. The question was, what was your favorite part of Guitcon besides the people?
The people.
No, besides the people.
No, the people.
Good answer.
There was no favorite part other than the people for me.
I agree. I think that's why he prefaced it with the people. I think he knows that. I think you could tell from all the videos we made that we immediately, that's the thing we all loved immediately.
Which probably a second time around wouldn't happen that much. I think a second time around it would be more gear and nerding out. And I was hoping obviously for videos that would be, let's talk about wood. Let's do pedal combinations. Let's do gear related stuff. But the first time you throw everyone together, what's going to happen is everyone's going to hang out and talk to each other. So I think the second time around that wouldn't happen as much.
Can I jump in on this answer? I think anticipation of the unknown was really exciting. right? A lot of us hadn't met yet, and we didn't know what we were going to do, and that made it really cool.
Yes.
Kiana?
I think like NAMM, you know, like when you compare it to NAMM, I think NAMM is a drag for a lot of people because it's a grind. Nobody really enjoys it, but we do it because it was the only forum. I don't even want to go to NAMM now because of Guitcon, because I know it's going to be a drag. Thank you, Henning.
Let's find a way where we can all do NAMM, maybe, you know, together or a bunch of us, because I think that would be fun. Where, you know, Tony King doesn't run around by himself, but takes that girl there, and we'll do group stuff.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Is that PG-13 group stuff?
Henning,
I'm just saying.
it's too early for this.
So, Kiana, what was your favorite part of Guitcon?
I think my favorite part, apart from the people, was the feeling of having accomplished something, actually.
You just said something else.
Yeah, I said the naps, but that was a joke.
Ah, okay.
That's a good answer. I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go for that one, too.
Well, you both pulled it off. And Henning, you at the top of the list, man. It wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for you, so thank you.
It was amazing.
Thank you.
Great event. It's funny.
Yes.
Everyone was like, so what are you going to do? How do you feel? And I was so like, I have no idea. I don't know. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be? It was wonderful. And that was, you know, the anticipation of the unknown was, I think, the best part.
Yeah. I was very scared until I got in the car with Pixxy, and then I was even more scared.
You were really scared.
Yeah, you were scared until you got in the car?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And,
That guy. My God. That was...
I was just driving 180. What's wrong about that?
No, we hit over 200. I have a video. Glenn and I were in a car with our driver. He hit over 200 kilometers.
That's nothing. It was a good car. Road was free.
It was a mistake. It was humming along just fine.
So Phil, how was your ride back? My ride back was really good. I had a really good driver on the ride back.
My ride back was worse.
No way.
It was worse. So I don't want to leave anybody out. So you guys know what happened was when they picked us up, me and Pixxy from the airport, literally no ramp up, nothing. Just as soon as he got on the road, he like floored it like he was the transporter.
We got in that airplane. It was like, and we're going faster and faster. And I'm looking at the speedometer going like 180, 190. I'm like, are we being chased?
Yeah, and then I'm in the front seat, so I'm like squeezing the handle as hard as I can. And then I hear Pixxy go, bro, dude, you gotta slow down. You gotta slow down. And then he didn't speak any English, so he's just looking at me like
he had a look on his face like this, like he's all angry at me. Like, what are you saying? What? I'm like, dude, I start going like this, dude, slow.
Yeah,
slow. And he is not liking this. But to his credit, he slowed down a little, but he couldn't help but weave in and out of traffic. At one point, we were close to 200 kph, and we were going down into a corner, and you could see the roads turning. And I just see Philip grab the hand, he's white knuckling his right hand up in the top, and he goes, "Oh Lordy!" and I was like, I couldn't even look. The ride back was much better.
On my ride back,
much better.
On my ride back, I left at 2:30 in the morning. It was pitch black. There's no lights in Markneukirchen. Like the whole place is like it's just very dark there. The guy picked me up in the Warwick van.
Yeah, that's what I got. The Warwick van.
That was a badass van, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Southern.
That's what I rode in, the black Warwick van. But he was fine. My
guy was just blaring faster than the guy who brought us there, but it was dark and it was in this van, so you feel everything. And
when we were getting out to the highway on the way back, we cut down this road between these two farms. I was like, this feels like not even a real road. Like it's some paved cow path in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, is this even like a street? And he's going pretty fast. And it's apparently a two-way street because every once in a while it would be like you just have to jam over to the side for a second while a car went like pass the other way, and then we would keep on going. It was weird. Very tiny little road out in the middle of nowhere.
No.
Anyway, I tell you, you know what my favorite part of the place was? The whole thing, other than the people, because the people really is the answer, but was the facility. The facility was amazing. From the main room to the side rooms to the whatchamacallit, the downstairs area, the concert hall, everything, the bar, area, and the tent area. I mean, the whole thing was pretty damn impressive. And the factory tour was amazing. Like just the facilities, the silo, the sawdust silo. I was like, this whole physical plant is just. They put up a double staircase like in one day. Did you see that?
Yeah. I don't think they have OSHA over there. Makes the stuff happen quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They seem to look up and say, we might need a staircase here, and it was up.
Philip, I get comments every day on our walkthrough.
Right.
On just how fascinated people are. Because we kind of did the commentary.
Yeah.
People are fascinated by the facility. To Pixx's point, it was everything about it. Off the grid, generate their own heat, generate their own AC. Insane. It's insane. Yeah,
it's insane.
I think if you watch that tour, our video together, and then our interview with HP together, they will get the full picture of what Pixxy is talking about.
Yeah.
He said at one point, I have to go over the footage again, but he said at one point, they send water down at like a certain degree, and it comes back up with geothermal heating at like by an increase of, I think he said 4 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Yep.
And I thought they used compression or some way to wring like 80 degrees Celsius out of it. Like they get so much more heat out of that. I don't know how they do it, and he kept saying that. I don't know how they do it, but they seem to wring a ton of heat out of that geothermal.
Did you catch the reason they do that is because it gets minus 20 degrees there, and the cold is coming through the bottom floor of the factory because it's freezing the ground. So they're forcing that water in there. That's how they're heating the ground, which is stopping the cold because it gets so cold there that they can't get the paint to cure.
Right. With the UV, the 15-second cure. 15, because I was like, wait, 15 minutes? He's like 15 seconds.
Yeah. Crazy.
It was inspiring to see that factory for sure.
The only thing that came close to that for me was maybe 2 years ago, and they produced their own air conditioning. I forget how it was in one of my videos. I forget how they do it, but they actually produced their own. Because it's a modern facility, but it was nothing like what we saw in Germany. That was really. I mean, that's the prototype of living off the grid.
Yeah,
I even said at one point in the interview, Philip, I don't remember exactly what we said, but it was like, you're in the guitar building business. You should be in the energy business.
Absolutely.
How to do what you did.
Yes.
Fascinating. Again, Henning.
I didn't build that facility.
You brought us there. You opened the gamut for us, man.
Which is like even that whole downstairs area that had sort of like the guitar and bass gallery where they had dozens and dozens of models all hung up around the wall so you could just pick up and check out. It was a good area to shoot. It was a little noisy, but then there was the soundproof room that you could use down there. I mean, it had some good physical plant.
You know what that goes to show is that, HP and its staff truly treats their business like a passion. Listen, we've all been on site at some company, and a lot of companies, you walk into an office, there is no vibe, there's no mojo, and it's a business. And you could clear, I mean, the fact that they built that concert hall to jam tells you that they're treating their business like a passion. And it's, I've never seen anything like it. That's kind of how we treat what we do. Yeah. It's a passion. Yeah. That's why I think we were so enamored by what we saw there.
Mm-hmm. Robert staying out of it completely.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part, Robert? Seeing that other people play with 4 fingers, or?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I didn't originally know that was a thing, but apparently people do use their pinky. But no, I think for me, other than obviously, like the people and everyone else has listed really good things, I think it was just like being part of such a creative atmosphere. Just everyone. It wasn't so many people. We didn't know. Like we all knew each other, but then you just got there and you're talking to like Dan and Mick, and you're talking to whoever it was, and you're just like, oh, this is a great video idea. We should do this. And I think just having that like abundance of creative energy was like really inspiring. It even carried past Guitcon. It was just like, all right, I'm ready to make videos again.
Yeah. I'd say the nighttime bar drinking was pretty good. That was pretty regular. On a pretty regular basis, we were downstairs pretty much every night.
Well,
the first night we had to tear ourselves out at like 2, and someone stayed up to like 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say night 2 was up to 3 a.m. and then like the following night it was like midnight, and everyone's just like, "All right, we're going to bed now."
Philip, were you hanging in the wee hours of the morning? Because I wasn't.
I was up every night till super late. Yeah, wow. I think I closed almost every night except for the one night. Pixxy, remember the one night I go, I'll be downstairs in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I went up to my room and I sat in the chair and checked something on my laptop and literally just passed out. I've never done that in my whole life. I just fell asleep. And then I woke up like an hour later in the chair in my room. And then even then I'm like, well, maybe I should go downstairs now.
The one night I think it was you and Tyler. Like I think it was me, you, Pete, and Tyler, and we're just like, all right, we're going to sleep. And then you're like, well, I got to finish this beer. And
and then me and Tyler up for like another hour and a half after that. Yeah.
The best part for me was, and on those nights, I didn't participate too much because I had to get up earlier than everyone else together with Keith, because we had to be there an hour before you guys. But Thursday night, sitting there with Dan and Tom Quayle, and Robert was there too. And Tom Quayle shows us his, I asked him something about hybrid picking, and he shows us the hybrid picking technique. And I'm like, uh-huh. And then Tom Quayle hands me Dan's tally, which was brilliant. And I try it. And so whatever Tom showed me, I try. And Tom's like, no, you're not as bad as you think. And that was like, Tom Quayle is telling me that I'm not as bad as I think. That was just insane.
All I know is when Tom Quayle got on the stage, my jaw was like...
There's quite a bit of hate for him playing, his style on top of a Hendrix thing. I love the fact that he can play his style on top of a Hendrix thing and make it work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, his playing was unbelievable.
And I got to say that on that song, when he played with Tyler, people are like, oh, what's with Tyler? He's not winning, and he played like shit. Did people see the same performance I saw? Because I sure as hell can't play like that. Can I say hell? Is that PG-13?
Well, I thought everybody did fantastic. I mean, it's let's be honest, it's hard to go up there with Phil X. I mean, the guy's just commanding the entire stage because he's amazing. But to his credit, if he wasn't so nice, I don't think actually, 2 things I want to say since we're on the subject. One, I don't think if he
If who wasn't so nice?
Phil X. Because he's so, he's such an amazing player, but he's so nice. You just feel welcome to be up there. But something I've been dying to say, I know something that's kind of funny. So when Robert Baker and Phil X and I, we did the Rock You Like a Hurricane, I have a funny moment that I'm privy to. So Robert, he went up on stage and he plugged into the Marshall, and the Marshall had like no gain, right?
I'm just like, how do I get more distortion?
And so, but the problem is, it's you get up there and you gotta go, right? There's no time. So Robert's just like messing with it, trying to figure out what he could do, but there's just that it has no gain. And I just want to point out how amazing you pulled off all those licks, and you were working it because that amp was no sustain, no gain, and you were like holding those notes with like just the sheer force of your fingers holding those notes because the amp was giving you nothing. And,
so there's like 20 pedals on the floor. None of them was distortion. I'm like, what's the point of any of this stuff?
Wait, I gotta do this for a second. You know which one wasn't on the floor, Robert? This one, because you don't have the doctor. Just saying, you don't have this. No. This is not what we're not talking about. This we're talking about this one right now. You don't have this. This is one you don't have.
I can't hear anything now. I can't hear anything.
I also want to point out something that I'm very happy about, which is that the Tone King is not dead.
What?
There was a moment in time where we thought that we had lost him.
Really?
Which was on Saturday when the hotel called me and said that he had not checked out and that his room is full of clothing. And it was around noon or something. I'm like, no, I know he had to leave this morning. This flight. Why is his clothing there? Why is he not checked out? And so I'm like, he left a little bit early last night. I don't know who he drove with. Are they in some ditch? So there was some phone calling around to make sure that they messed up the room numbers or something. But I was afraid that I was responsible for losing a big YouTuber. I was afraid there for a moment. So
Yeah,
I'm very happy you're not dead.
Yes, I got off the plane with like half a dozen very concerned texts from Henning. And I'm like, what's going on?
By the way, guys, I'm obviously a tech idiot. Where do you guys see the chat where people ask things?
Henning, if you go to Philip's channel, it's the video on his
you're talking about the YouTube thing.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
thing apparently.
I can send it to you on Facebook if you want, Henning.
What is Facebook? Wait.
Oh, it's this website.
It's this website. Good description. But did I just get a?
So who hasn't answered the question? The best thing that wasn't people.
I think just you.
Just me.
Oh, someone is asking for is there a mod in the chat for trolls? Someone was asking.
Yeah, Philip, if you make us all mods, we could probably help with the moderation.
How do I do that?
Is there a mod?
I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before.
They just have to type something and press return and then right-click their name and make them a mod.
Oh, okay. So type something. And I'll right-click it. There you go, Robert Baker.
And then
You
you should be able to...
Report, block, add, moderator, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
cool.
There you go.
Alright.
Yeah, so I should have a little
Hold
ring
on.
beside my name.
Hold on. There's the tone. Hey, wait a minute. How come I can't scroll this stupid stuff? There's just so many stupid.
I'll give you another one. There you go.
Yeah. It's going by fast. There you are.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Tony King.
Hey. I know Terry Bear is in there. He's a moderator, I think, on all of our other channels too. He's always really good.
Yeah, Terry Bear's good to moderate. Yeah.
Yeah, Terry Bear, if you say something, I'll add you as a moderator too. I know this is kind of sucks to everybody that I'm doing this right now, but better now than. There you go. Henning's one.
Yeah,
everybody.
There's a few comments that getting a little carried away.
There you go, Terry Bear. Hold on, sir. Hold on. Dude, it just scrolls so fast. It's like
The new challenge. Everybody type as much as you can.
Yeah.
Terry Bear, you like the official.
There you go, Terry Bear.
Moderator.
This is like some video game. All right, I think I
right.
like it's like whack-a-mole for whack-a-troll.
Yeah, Whack-a-troll.
Whack-a-troll is good.
Okay, I think I got everybody, but I didn't see Pixxy, so sorry. So
Yeah, I'm taking the night off.
all right, man,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. So my highlight is two things. I know it's cheating, but I got to say it because there's two things. One, I got that custom bass I've been wanting for over a decade. And
right.
and to say just this one more time to about Marcus and Hans, the fact that they did it is impressive because I've always been a Warwick fan. My first real basses were Warwicks. I own two currently Warwicks, including an import, and I always wanted to be a Warwick, but it was just expensive. And so I've asked so many companies over the years to do what I was asking them to do, and companies just won't do it. So the fact that they did it for me was really impressive. So that was a highlight for me. But the other highlight for me is, and I know this is kind of the unspoken part, but I know you guys are all kind of thinking it. It's really how Henning was able to convince these companies to pay to be there, but take our crap. You know what I mean? No, I'm serious. Because hey, this was Henning. This was a discussion. I know that Lewis, Tony, the Tony King. I know that Tony and I talked about it. I know that Pixxy and I talked about it. I don't remember Robert and I talking about it, but I'm sure Robert was thinking it too. This is one of the things. You're like, if I go there, what do they want me to do? And we had talked about the fact that nobody had given us any formal paperwork telling us to do anything. But in the back of our heads, you're getting there and you're like, man, if they just start handing me scripts or if they start telling me to, hey, right now go. And the fact that literally they let us run rampant. I mean, we could do whatever we want, say whatever we want. They didn't even, and I'm sure they cared, but what we did, but they didn't. Not one the only thing, and this is to be honest, and this is the credit to Henning, the only thing I was asked, not told to do, I was asked very nicely if I would put the banners on the videos of the companies that provided the equipment. And that was it.
That was more than reasonable.
And I was, yeah, of course. Well, crap, I would have done that anyways, just because, common courtesy. So the fact that Henning was able not only to pull GitCon off, but literally get people to finance something and then tell them to their face. And I can't, I'm not going to ever say, not because Henning swore me to secrecy or anything, but I know that Henning had a lot of companies tell him no. He probably had twice as many companies tell him no that showed up because of that reason.
Henning, I want to add to that, just to add to Philip's comment. There was some chat about, is there going to be a contract that where, need to, whether it be loose or enforced.
Right.
And that was making a lot of people nervous. Like, what is expected of us? And the fact that the only, like integrity kicked in and it was like, guys, just do what you do best. And I think that was really, again, it goes back to the people thing. They treated us really, really well. And that really brought out the best of everybody. And even the companies, like, let's face it, like that PRS guitar, that was the go-to guitar, right? But there was so many other guitars that we used because there was so much of a hang. Everybody was playing everything. It was very communal, which was, and again, when you don't force somebody to do something, I think the best comes out of everybody in those type of situations. And I would say all the companies that were there, probably walked away feeling really good about it just because of the way it was architected. Nothing was artificial.
And I bet you they were more scared than us.
Probably. Let me say a couple of things about that. Okay. Well, I'm an independent YouTuber. I don't work for a store. I don't have the luxury of, going down to the store and getting something or just having all the new gear there. For me and for you guys, it means acquiring stuff, talking to companies, and whatever we review or use is a struggle. So I didn't want to create an event that was commercial in that way because we're independent. I wouldn't have want to be told, you have to do this, because as an independent YouTuber, I would have given you the finger and laughed at you. So I wanted that atmosphere. The only thing I would do differently, Dan Steiner told me on the phone, he's like, don't tell people, if you please use the logos, because some people then didn't get the weight of what that would mean for the event and repeating it and stuff. He just said, tell people to use them, period, which no one would have a problem with, which I should have done. I was a little bit too polite about that. And really using the logos is not a problem for anyone. It's just, as you said, common courtesy. But other than that, I wouldn't want to be invited to an event if Phil had put it on, where all of a sudden I'm forced to play an Ibanez. I love Ibanez, but I want it to be my choice. I want to create the kind of content I want to create because it's my channel, my audience. So I wanted to build that. The problem with that is 3 months on the phone, thousands in phone bills for me, because I had to talk to companies and tell them, come to this event. Yes, you have to pay something. You have to get your own flights. We'll cover the food that's in the fee. But I can't guarantee that you get a single video made. And that's because I can't. I mean, that's almost an impossible pitch. Pay for something, which again, it wasn't a lot. It's like what the companies paid was not even the price of one print ad. So, but they asked, so, what can we expect? And I'm like, I don't know. I know that these guys are coming. I know that. I know that they're amazing. I know there's someone that loves Ibanez. There's someone who loves that. But I can't tell you that you get any content made. And they're like, well, that's a big gamble for us. I'm like, I don't think so. Because even if you don't get a single video made, you just hung out with pretty much almost all the channels that have something to say and influence on YouTube. So even if you don't get a single video made, if you hang out with these guys and have coffee and exchange phone numbers and stories about your dogs, you will have made friends that will benefit your company for years to come. Even if at Guitcon you don't see the benefit right away because nothing gets done, which is highly unlikely. But I told them it might be a possibility. But just for the networking, spending the money and coming was absolutely worth it. And the problem is some companies treated it. Now, all companies had a problem getting out of their NAM and trade show mode. We saw this happening. We set up tables, which I thought was a mistake. There was space behind the tables, which was a mistake because it could hide behind the tables. And they were waiting for us to come to the booth. I didn't want a booth, never. I wanted all of us to hang out, and the gear was also there. So I talked to Philip from Musik Meier. They were there with Hagström, Marshall, and Schechter. And I said, Philip, what did you guys do? And he's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, I hope you don't blame me for this. He's like, no, I know. It was all the people. It was about the people. So the guy from Hagström had to leave after 2 days. Their Vox guy, as long as Jens was there, people were at the Vox booth. As soon as he was gone, no one looked at Vox.
Yeah.
And they had Michelle there. What an amazingly beautiful woman working for Marshall. But she brought 3 products. One of them was so new we couldn't drag it in front of the camera. I mean, come to a video event and bring something that can't be videoed. And so she was so nice and so beautiful, but she's someone who doesn't want to be filmed. Well, what are you doing at a video event? So they treated it a bit too much like, a trade show, which it was the exact opposite. Companies that understood that, have my stuff there, but hang, they had the full benefit. And I'm going to have to create an environment next time where that is, where they simply can't hide. I want those tables against the walls, and I want kind of like, couch areas in their area where they're forced to hang out with us. And I want to know from you guys if you see this the same way. I think I talked to Pixxy about this already. Jean from PRS, what a nice lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Brian.
Amazing people. They were also a little bit in NAM mode because that's what these companies know. Hang out around my gear and wait for people to come. So she said after 2 days, she said, Henning, this is an amazing event. Thank you for inviting us. But the guitars, yes, we see, but we don't know if we need to be here next time, if we're necessary. And I said, Gene, you have no idea. Because frankly, if you weren't here, no one would care about your guitars. Not because
that goes back to the people. The people made the event what it is.
And she asked why, and I said, well, it's very easy. Look, not that we are hired guns, that we are for sale, that our opinions are for sale, but frankly, somehow what we do, we need to turn into an income. So if there's only the guitars there, walking up to a PRS guitar and dragging it into a video without a representative of the company there means they're not seeing that we're doing that. So we're not building a relationship with them. And I said, Gene, if I pick up a guitar now and I play it in a video, you see that. And if I call you in 2 weeks, we have a relationship going because you know, Pixxy picked up a guitar and I know Phil played some PRS guitars. So she knows that we worked, whatever that means, for the company, which will make it easier for us in the future if they have a new SE line out saying, oh, let's do an SE line thing, like let's shoot the videos before they hit the stores and, you know, do something that generates traffic on our channel, is informative to our viewers. But for that, the people from the brands need to see that we're working, whatever that means, for them. So without her being there, I don't know if people would have treated the brand the same. So what do you guys think about that?
I think you're right about Vox. I think the second Vox left, they no one really checked out their products as much, and when they were there, people were checking out their products a lot more. That's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think to me it was PRS, Rev, Hughes and Kittner. Those people made sure every time I was walking around to say hi to me, talk to me, be involved, and remind me they're there. And if I need anything, and you know, and it was nice. And you know what? Definitely Ibanez.
Yeah, I was going to say the Ibanez guy.
Yeah, Ibanez guy too. Absolutely. And that's
even Universal
was calling my name.
Universal too.
They not only hung during the event, they brought us that amazing vodka at dinner.
Oh yeah,
they were part of the hang, and that's I think what made it.
I'll be back in a sec. Hold on.
Yep.
Which company who was part of the hang?
Universal. They were in the middle of all of it, which was great because if they weren't, you know, like the Vox thing, I don't know if people would have naturally gravitated to them, but they were so engaging. That's what made it. You know what it was.
Yeah. Well, and
go, Robert. Go.
Oh, I was just saying McMall. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A big thing with the companies was not the expense, because what it costs them to be there for a lot of companies is their daily coffee budget. Okay, but a big issue for companies was getting someone there for a whole week. Mm-hmm. Because manpower costs money and being there. So I said, look, you're going to have halfway working internet and you can do your office duties there, but just be there. So that's something that companies have to realize. And when I talked to Philip from Musik Meier with his 3 brands, he said, no, absolutely. When I was there, I quickly realized, I would say the importance of the people from the brands, I would put that on 90% compared to the actual product, because we were there to hang with them, and I'll check out something that I might not have been that interested in just because they're cool people. Let's see what you have.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hey, Lewis.
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Was that?
Dude, how did you get that?
That's the second bottle, right?
There was no second bottle. The second bottle was the first bottle.
Oh,
so the first bottle that night, and they showed up the second night, and they said, we have another bottle. It was the same bottle.
Nice.
There was only one bottle.
Dude, do you have some vodka in there?
There were 2 bottles because I got one as well, and I don't drink. So my bottle went to the guy that handled, you never saw him, Sven, who's the warehouse manager at Warwick. who worked his butt off and ran around like crazy, and I wanted to show my appreciation to him, so that bottle of whatever that is went to him.
I hardly drink myself, but I'll tell you, that was the best vodka I've ever had in my life.
So Tony, I got it chilling downstairs in my little fridge. Next time you're up,
absolutely.
You and I, we'll hit the bottle a little bit.
All right.
So I wanna curve it a little bit. There's a lot of comments and a lot of chatter about Framus, and about, you know, obviously we gave them a lot of attention. Not only because they hosted the event. I mean, be honest, I think all of us pretty much agree. Framus got attention because the factory was impressive, and then kind of awestruck us, and then that got us talking about it.
Yeah.
But
I
a lot of
agreed. Totally agreed.
But two things that I want to point out, and this is how funny the honesty of an event like this is. You know, Hans and those guys talk about investing in people and not they put on this event, which of course is going to have a 70-80% or higher involvement in the US, right? All our channels are heavily US channels, right? Even Henning's channel is 75%, 80% US viewership, right?
Not quite that much, but it's high.
It's high. Framus has pretty much little to no distribution in the US. So and the reason I want to point that out to you guys is that's something they're working on. And I want to point that out because most companies would have saw this as a marketing opportunity to segue that launch and time it up. But what happened was Hans wanted this to happen because Henning had brought the idea to him many times, and finally he decided to do it. And that's the true honesty of it. He wanted this to happen for all the right reasons. But a lot of you guys are commenting that you haven't seen any Framuses available and stuff. It's because their US distribution is very low. It's something they haven't secured very well. And so that's getting corrected.
Yeah, they actually bought a place in Nashville.
Yeah.
And they'll be opening up. So I think we're going to see a rise in what is available here.
The showroom in Nashville has been open for years.
Yeah, I'd say they have
right?
they have a showroom.
Yeah, but I guess they're building it up to be a distribution center because now they're using a distribution company that I don't think is doing a great job. I'm saying that. They didn't say that.
As for Framus, they made a few mistakes too at the show. That sounds like a trade show. At our hang.
The hang.
Two mistakes, I think. Mistake number one is they made the same mistake that all the other companies did, which is people. Because it was at Framus, and everyone was Framus Warwick, but Marcus was sitting there behind his desk, behind the guitars, and then we dragged up Nico, Hans Peter's son, who's really cool but a little bit shy. He's 19, so I tried to push Nico and people, but that networking between their guys and us hasn't happened in the way that it might have happened with Ibanez and other companies, simply because, right now they don't have actually someone in-house to do this. And when it comes to A&R, Marcus, the production manager, and Hans Peter handled that. So really someone cool to hang with us. Marcus is ultra cool and Nico is ultra cool, but they also had to work. So there wasn't someone all the time available to bond with us the way that other companies could. The second mistake was, I think, they built amazing guitars only for the show. I mean, what was on the floor there was something they built especially for Guitcon, which was amazing, and they're beautiful guitars, but they were all master builds. Yeah. And it's easy to drag in $7,000 guitar into a room, say, oh, this is amazing. I would have liked, but they're unattainable for most people. Mm-hmm. I would have liked for them to just have a couple of team builds. They're between $1,600 and $3,000. They're absolutely rivaling other brands in this price range without a problem. And I would have liked to see at least 3-4 of those models there so that we can actually say, hey, yeah, these are the amazing, private stock level master builds, but here's something you can also buy, and that's cool. Yeah. So they focused a little bit too much. I don't want this to be a boutique guitar show. I think Ibanez didn't have anything under what, $800 or something.
Yeah, they brought more premium product too. They said that so Ibanez told me they know for next year that was where their mistake is. Because I even made the comment, I said, how did you not bring a tube screamer pedal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, such an easy product. You know, I know it's not flashy, but we would have probably used it in a video.
So
I know Robert would have used it in front of that Marshall.
I was gonna say I would have been rocking that thing in front of a Marshall.
So you bring up a good point, Philip and Henning, because the H&K guys, I don't know if you noticed this, but they had a lot of product that was old and discontinued. And when I said, why did you bring that? Their answer was, because I figured you guys would enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for me, the light bulb went off. And it goes to the fact that it wasn't a trade show. Bring stuff that people would enjoy, not necessarily what you want to sell.
It'll work for your brand either way.
Yes, correct. So H&K got it. I mean, they had discontinued pedals. They had discontinued amps. I forget what that one amp was. I actually want to buy that amp. It was like a very clean, almost plexi style amp. Do you remember what it was called? And I asked him, I said,
it's Pure Tone.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
Pure
it.
Tone.
Pure Tone. And I said, why? Because he said, yeah, it's been discontinued. So I said, why did you bring it? He goes, oh, I figured, that pedal show guys would love it. And I'm like, oh, that was really cool of you. And then I got into talking to him about it. And, it was a whole other level that we would never see at a trade show. They got it.
I think brands were concerned about let's show our A game, which is of course a good idea, but we review stuff, which means we're interested in
everything,
showing stuff that people can afford, which is why I really made sure that Harley Benton was there, because they're great guitars for the money.
Those guitars blew my mind.
Dude, I'm getting one sent here.
Oh, they were
that Les
so
Paul
good.
Was amazing.
I was sitting there when I was going through those guitars. I got every single guitar wrong, and I was still impressed. And the prices, I was like, oh, this one's $250, and they're like, yeah, $250, because I was talking to Glenn and stuff. And then all of a sudden, somebody's like, no, it's $177, and I'm like, holy crap, I was impressed at $250.
The SG with the triple pickups, like it's like a like a custom, like an SG custom, block inlay and all that stuff. That was like $149 euros.
You can't buy a single Gibson pickup for that much.
Yeah, I just bought some pickups for more than that.
Yeah, well, that was I remember the first time I went over there, because I was playing this like custom shop telly or whatever it was. It was like right before you got there at Toman, Henning, and they gave me like the PRS looking one, and they were like, "Well, play this." And they're like, "How much do you think that guitar is?" And I was like, "I don't know." It's like maybe like $500, and it was like $222. I was like, "What?" And then it just kind of like blows your mind. I'm like, how?
That's the CST 24, and it's just they have veneer tops like many other brands, but it's just good stuff. And and many people drag those guitars into videos, which shows you it's not about let's only play the most expensive stuff. They were played as much as others, but we didn't really have a chance to do a shootout of budget guitars because no other brands brought budget guitars.
Right.
So I want in terms of the gear that's there, I want to pick next year. I might be able to pick companies because we actually have companies lining up. So I want to pick combinations of companies that allow for comparisons, that allow for shootouts, that allow for that type of content, because it doesn't make sense to have Harley Benton there, but not Ibanez and Schecter and Fender in a similar price range, because then it becomes interesting. Having master built Framus is great, and we had one or two private stock PRS, but we also need a couple of guitars in that price range, because how cool would it be if we can walk around and we have 5 guitars worth $8,000 from different brands? Then we have content, which that was my vision for the event, which in terms of the two things went against that. A, we all wanted to make videos where we just all hang. Okay, that was event number 1, fine. But also, I couldn't get the brands there. I invited some nice boutique builders, and they were all like, yeah, nah. No one got it.
I'll get it. Not. Your job is going to get difficult because, like HP said, he doesn't want to turn it into a trade show, and he's not trying to turn a massive profit on this thing, it's going to be very selective. So I think you're going to have the opposite problem of maybe even turning brands down that
absolutely.
that are willing to pay but doesn't fit the theme of what we're trying to accomplish there.
What I'll have to do is look at the YouTubers that are there, know their content, look at all the brands that are available, and then pair them up and say, if I have these brands and those products with these guys, that can create some good content. Not looking at how much is someone willing to pay, but will we have a good selection of companies to create good content?
Sure.
So there's a question that we just got, and it's a good one, and I think it ties into what you just said. And the question is, hold on a second, let me get back to it, is if you could change one thing next year, what would it be? So that we'll go around and ask that. And one, I'm going to, because I don't know if you guys thought about this, but I've been thinking about stuff, right? And one of the thing I thought would be really cool next year to do is to have like a fishbowl full of names and draw just, maybe once a day, draw 2 names and a company randomly.
That's a good idea.
And have 2 YouTubers, right? Just randomly put together in a room with a product and see what happens, right? And that's the best way to break, out of shells and break the out of the box. And
I like that. And then the names don't go back in.
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody will get something.
Yes.
I like that. That's smart.
Yeah. And so you guys go now too. Pixxy, you're next.
Well, I'll bring a laptop next year. I was the only guy who didn't bring a laptop. I was like, what? Laptops?
I bet you Pixxy's going to be buying a MacBook Pro this year. That's what my crystal ball tells me.
No, but I'll probably pick up the latest, like 9th gen i7 right before.
or a MacBook Pro. That's also an option.
So we'll see. For me to get a Mac, I'd have to make it a Hackintosh. I can't pay the Apple tax. I can't do it. But the only thing I would change next year is I would just shoot more when I'm out of the rooms. So I didn't shoot as much when I was out. I did a lot of walking around with the phone, but I really should have just used my cam. I did some with the cam, but I did mostly with the phone, and I should have done some more stuff outside, some more interviews type stuff. But I try to focus on the gear. Almost all of my videos are just gear related. They're not like riff or interview or anything like that. It's more just straight up gear stuff. So next year, maybe add a little bit more to that. And I'd like to see the rooms, like, and I was talking to Henning about this recently, about like maybe just having the amps all set up and just switching with the amp heat. The biggest thing was the setup. My God, if you had a 30-minute time, sometimes it was 20 minutes getting set up or 15 minutes getting set up. And then you felt like rushed to get done. So that'd be a good change for next year, I think.
Okay. Next. Who goes next?
Tone King.
Well,
right.
So what was okay. So what was the question? What would I want to see differently, or what's one thing you would change for next year, or what would you like to do next year that you didn't do this year? For me personally, I want to be better prepared to play at night. I didn't know we were going to be doing what we did. So like when I played with Phil X, I hadn't played Detroit Rock City in a couple of years. So the reason why we played Ain't Talking About Love is because it was easy, but I wanted to really jam. So that was actually my suggestion. And I got a couple of sour notes. The video, he and I interviewed him. That's going live tomorrow. So we actually spoke about that. It'll be good to check that. Philip, I know you'll check it out at least. But for me, a personal goal is I want to be better prepared to jam next year. Because you know what? When I jammed, I was like on cloud 9. The last time I jammed was maybe about 5 years ago on a stage like that in Florida with Paulster. I don't know if you guys remember the YouTuber Paulster, but he invited me down to Florida, and I was on cloud 9 back then. got a job and a family. I just don't do that stuff regularly. And it was just so much fun. I want to do more of it next year. So I want to prepare and work on my chops for more playing next year. That's my goal.
Okay, Robert, it's you, buddy.
Dang it. No, mine was actually kind of along the lines of what TK just kind of said. And it was nothing really to change about the event. Because I know like Felix had a big list of songs you could do. But I think next year, if we have like a list of say like 30 songs, just to send out to everyone and be like, hey, Phil knows all these songs. Like if Phil's there again, or whoever's going to be singing, like knows all these songs. Like here's a list of AC/DC. Here's a list of these songs. Then we're like, oh, okay, I'll learn that song. Because for me, I'm like, I don't know full songs. I just know like riffs from songs.
So Robert, what you said is good. And Henning, maybe we could take that thought a bit further and prepare it. So like Robert, let's say you want to play 3 certain songs that you're really passionate about. Maybe those are your songs and that gets put into the Wednesday night set list.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
This way, everybody, like the thing, you pull the name out of the thing to cover the gear. Maybe everybody, if you go, you're getting on stage and you're playing whatever song that you've prepared.
Pixxy!
I can see it right now, the 2 bowls, right? One's the song and one's the name, and they'll go, Pixxy In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
Right.
You're like, no!
Because I'd love to, we, like you said, Robert, we all know a little bit of everything. But I want to be able to, practice the song I'm going to play, and I want to play it and, really feel good about it, Yeah. And that takes planning and preparation.
What you guys are forgetting is that if anyone prepares those bowls, it's me, and it's only going to be Hanson songs, all the albums. I'm just saying.
So then once we get there, we throw all those away and replace it with the real bowls.
See, I'd be happy to do the random cover piece of gear and a random piece of gear and go into a room with a random YouTuber, because I could roll on the fly like that, but not the songs, man. I need to, that has to be fixed for me, I don't want that to be random.
I practiced, just like Rob, I don't play whole songs. I'm an arranger, I'm a producer, I play parts.
But Henning, if you practice 2 or 3 songs, I bet you'd have a fun time playing those live. And
I did that. I don't know, what was it, Highway to Hell and Back in Black and Highway Star, because I know from the bass camps that Phil plays those. I asked him for his song list, which I got the Friday before the event. Otherwise, I would have sent that around to everyone. But Phil took a while sending it to me, and then I got the whole list and was like, yeah, Phil, I'm already setting up here. I can't practice now.
One good idea that would kind of like play off of Phil's idea that I think would be kind of interesting is if there were like blindfold challenges, like 2 people put together almost, and then it's like, and you're reviewing or like whatever the gear is, just kind of like blindfolded. You just have to like hear like what kind of sounds like this, just like.
I hear you. I bring the bubble wrap. It's okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe use real blindfolds, not bubble wrap. But
no, bubble wrap. That's so much better.
Or like you said, like different challenges for us to do. Like maybe even like how we had the panels. It could be like a challenge of some kind.
So Kiana, you're next.
Well, I'm looking at this from another perspective than you are, but I definitely say we need more supervisors. That was really the thing that we needed most, because I was so happy to help, really, and really glad with everything I could help with. And also with little stuff like, just, Kiana, can you come here and take a look at this? That was no problem, but then also having to refill the coffee machine and figure out we need a coffee machine that actually works.
No, just get the big drum. The big drum of coffee. You did it on the last day. It was the last day. Just that's all. No one's picky. At this point, it was just give me caffeine so I can keep going.
Hey, Kiana, you were also the lost and found person. You found my SD card.
Yes, I did. I also found we also found some glasses
which we never found out was
got
there.
picked up.
SD card handling is a big thing. I mean, for me, the event was 90% there, 98%, I would say. I mean, it's except for half of Pixxy's Phil X video, which I think I messed up. Other than that, nothing got lost. Everything worked. I mean, for the technology that had to be run in those rooms by 5 guys that hadn't worked with their technology before, and handling it all in real time and making it work in a stressful situation, it was insane. I can't believe that we actually pulled it off.
I can't believe you got that level of talent on a volunteer basis.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. The helpers were, and obviously Kiana included in that, were amazing for the whole event.
You know what, Henning? What you should do next year, if you have volunteers again, you should set up a page for people that want to donate to them, and then whatever that lump sum, you divide it between the helpers.
That's a very good idea, actually.
You know.
The thing is, with 3 rooms, technically what you should have is a minimum of 5 guys running those rooms. Someone switching, and in the setup time, 2 people, one behind the desk doing the setup for the computer and one setting up the cameras. But we just didn't have that. Sometimes I had to have Bo and Michiel go to the music hall and set up for the night. And then all of a sudden I only had 3 guys. If one of them had a stomach problem and they had to go to the hotel, we don't have someone to run the room. So 5 guys plus Jennifer and Kiana just was not enough. So that's definitely something I would change. We already have ideas in place how to make the rooms go quicker, and that's relatively easy. Derek from Ref had a great idea. Instead of setting up amps, we'll simply have the amps set up non-stop. So in every room, left and right, you have a rack of 3 amps with an amp switcher. You want to play the Marshall, you sit your ass down, you click 1, and there's the Marshall. Or you want to play the ref, click 2, there's the ref, and it's all wired up and ready to go, which also enables you in videos to actually compare amps, which is cool.
Yeah.
So the only thing you need to think about is that means if like H&K had their stuff outside, which was cool because you'd go over and talk to them about the gear, that means they'd have to bring double the amount also, right?
Oh, they have to bring more amps.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be a problem. The other thing is, in terms of advertising, if you're playing the Marshall in a video, you'll still see, let's say, the Rev and the Joyo or whatever companies are there. So they might not be heard, but they're in the picture, and I don't think anyone would have a problem with that. But that means you can sit down and immediately start working, just doing the camera setup, whether you do a pedal or whatever. So it'll just be positioning cameras. The other problem was, I love that Universal Audio helped us out with Apollos and the best audio interfaces on the planet. But the plugins we were running on those audio interfaces, which means exporting wasn't this. Exporting was, audio exporting was 10 to 15 minutes of video. So at the end of every video, that was downtime that the room had. So I already talked to my guy from Universal Audio, and they're willing to give us more twins. So we would have 3 separate exporting stations. So once you're done with your video, you get your card with your full audio session on it, give it to a guy at the stations, and they do the exporting for you. So it's not happening in the rooms, that's happening in a separate office where all the audio gets processed and rendered out. That way, the rooms will have much, much quicker turnover, much less setup time because of the amps, and no downtime when audio gets exported. That's definitely something we want to change. We want to change or improve room scheduling, because we just said, here's lists, do whatever. And people could put themselves into those lists as they pleased. And technically, everyone should have the same time allotted, which means you would get, what I would like to do is get little rectangle magnets with channel names on it, and they represent half-an-hour slots. So each of you guys gets 10 magnets, put it on the thing, you can still move it around, and if you need more time, well, you got to bum it off someone who doesn't need the room.
Yeah, like drink tickets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So that makes sense.
It does. So now I want to go, because we're going to talk more some more gear stuff, since it is GuitarCon, right? It just stands for Guitar Conference, right?
Yes.
All right, I figured.
I think it was based on VidCon.
Before we talk about gear, which I'm all about, I need to do a shameless plug for Kiana. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I started a GoFundMe campaign for Kiana because we need her at NAMM. And people rudely said, go work like everybody else. Well, those people can go and do the thing that I can't say on your channel. But you know, she can't finance that by going to work and studying at the same time. So we started this campaign. We're gonna need some money for Kiana to come. So if you guys out there can go to that GoFundMe campaign and, you know, donate something, that would be greatly appreciated, because I don't think the Guitcon family is complete without her.
I'll put a link in the video when it posts.
Yeah. Thank you.
I saw Jason donated already. I was gonna donate today, but I saw it on my phone, so I gotta get to it. You gave me the link, so
Yeah.
I'll make sure I do that too.
And for some reason, GoFundMe doesn't do PayPal, which is really just a pain in something.
Yes, I know.
Weird.
I know. But yes. So like I said, we'll put that in the link. So if anyone's interested, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And if you want to do it, It's that easy. Yeah.
But what people going and saying, oh, this is so stupid and you're begging for money. We're creators. We're content creators. Most of us have a patron, so why not?
You know, all it means when you're begging for money is that means the companies aren't paying you, so at least you know what side of the fence everybody's on.
That's a good point. You know, the opposite is worse when you're getting the check from the company and, hey, you really got to play that. You know, it's like, come on, nobody wants the paid puppet, right? So
yes,
and I need to reiterate what you said, Henning. Kiana's a student, you know, and it ain't cheap to fly from Germany to LA. No. So it's
when you're 18.
When you're 18. When I was 18, I had, you know, same boat, right? You know, it's tough, man.
Yep.
And you worked. You really, you know, made, you know,
and she makes really good content.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved the her Guitcon 1 and 2, where you guys were sitting around the table. Everything you guys said, I watched it yesterday. Thank you so much. There was some really, really cool stuff in there. And Trey. No, he was funny. Yeah, that was it. Gear. You want to talk gear?
Gear. All right. So we're gonna start with an easy one first. Not what your favorite piece of gear was. I want to know what everybody's like shock, you know, like, wow, I didn't expect to like that, or I didn't expect to have that reaction to that piece of gear. So tell everybody, take a turn telling us what piece of gear that you experienced that gave you the most shock, whether that be impressed or not impressed. Just, you know.
I'll go first. I
Sure.
really like that. What was it called? The Grandmeister Deluxe 40 by Hughes and Kettner. It had a bunch of built-in effects. It was like, it wasn't 4-channel, but it was like sort of 4 preset gain stages, and you can just work your way from super clean to super distorted. And I thought some of those tones were just amazing. I was really impressed with it. Yeah. And I had never tried a Hughes and Kettner amp before. I mean, I've heard demos on YouTube, but never in person. And I was impressed. That was the one thing. That and the Satriani guitar. That's my pair.
That was definitely guitar, a favorite.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
I know. And that and the 594.
No, you're not allowed to say that.
Oh, 594. That thing was awesome.
That was everybody's favorite guitar.
That was everyone's favorite.
That was the go-to guitar. That
with the rosewood neck. I already have 2 rosewood neck guitars. It's a collection.
If there was an award for like the guitar that had the most playtime, it was that guitar.
Robert, is it very similar to this one?
Well,
dude,
is that it?
No.
You mic dropping on us. What are you doing?
No, this is my modern Eagle, and Robert kind of.
Oh no, there's no binding on the neck. See,
that's
not the same.
Yeah, and the switch isn't up top.
But this is
on the upper
also
bout.
a rosewood neck.
I was gonna say I tried to buy that PRS and they didn't know how to sell it to me.
Nope.
I was like, well, they're like, yeah, it's the European markets. I'm like, how do I get this? I want this guitar.
How do I
move to Europe?
Yeah,
move to Europe. You can get it. You can get it if you really want. No?
You know, the problem though is here's the experience I always have. Not to get sidetracked, I want to get back to the topic, but so you know, they were like, "Well, we'll order you one." I'm like, "Yeah," and then it won't be as great as this, and then I'll just be depressed that I spent all this money on the thing that's not as good as the one I wanted.
That's why we got the. That's why we got the Framus guitars.
That's why I got the Framus. In fact, that PRS. In all honesty, here's what happened: the PRS got me, you know, going. And then I found the Framus, and then I was like, "Oh, this is good. Okay." All right. Sorry to get sidetracked. Okay, back to
the. You know what would have happened if you didn't buy that purple Framus? You know.
Yeah, you were gonna buy it. I feel bad. So you know, I was trying not to buy the purple one because you said, you know, if you don't get it, you want it. And here's the God's honest truth. I was really torn between that and the green one, right? And the problem I was having was I liked them both, and then I kept going back and forth, but I really kept getting drawn back to that purple one the way it played.
The purple one.
It just played so nice.
See, I actually even like, here, confession time. I like the purple one better than the Phil X one, although from a collector perspective, the Phil X one was the one to get at that show.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more rock and roll.
It was, but think about it. He was the bandmaster. Right at the first ever Guitcon. I mean, that was, you know, I think of things from the collector perspective. That was the guitar. But the purple one, I would have walked away with 2 guitars at that show if Philip hadn't, you know, snagged the purple one, because that guitar is gorgeous.
Yeah, and it just plays great. All right, so now we're done sidetracked. Let's go back. All right, so Pixxy did it. Who's favorite? No, the shocking piece of gear, the gear that you didn't expect to have a reaction to.
So for me, it was the Schecter. And if somebody knows the model, please tell me, because I couldn't find it on their website. It had flip-flop paint, carbon fiber binding.
Oh, yeah, the purple one, right? Purpley.
Gorgeous. I've never seen carbon fiber binding.
I think that's the Hellraiser.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Because I bought this Hellraiser behind me, and I almost bought that one when I bought this one, and it had carbon fiber binding because I was picking between the two.
And that the one they had the flip flop paint. It was like 3 different colors depending on the angle.
It's like $1,100 US, something like that, $1,000. Maybe it's a little less because it's the hardtail.
That's the one guitar I picked up. Like the PRS was gorgeous, the Framus was gorgeous, but that's the one guitar I picked up and said, "Wait a second, what is going on here?" Like that one got me by surprise.
Yeah, I always look at that going, I can't figure out if that's real carbon fiber, if they're using some kind of decal.
They told me it was carbon fiber. Now maybe that's just.
Oh, I'm sure, because I wouldn't see why they would lie about it. But you know that stuff's hard to cut and try to place in there.
Look gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Like the fit and the finish on that was perfect.
So, all right, Robert, you're next.
Well, I have to pick 2 because I've never been a PRS fan ever, and all of them I've ever played. And Henning's was the first one I ever liked, and that 594 is the second PRS I've ever liked. But then on the last day, it was the last video I was shooting, I just grabbed the Framus, the television P90. It was a real weird shaped one, and I was like, "Oh, this guitar is light." It was just the guitar closest to me, and I sat down in there to do the video. And when I plugged it in, I was like, "My God, this guitar sounds amazing!" Because it was like it's a hollow body or something like that. And I think that was the best sounding guitar. Yeah, it sounded even better to me than the 594 did.
Did it have a blue flame top on it and an F hole?
Yeah. It was insane. It was light. The neck felt.
I remember that. Exactly the one you're talking about.
Which one was it?
It's the one they based the logo off of, right? The shape?
Yeah.
The Guitcon logo?
Oh, wait. No.
It was the offset.
What was which one? It was one with the P90s in it. I have a picture of it. But
the Framus, right?
Yeah, the Framus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was black semi hollow trans with 2 P90s.
Yeah, and it sounded So good. And like I said, it was just like I just needed a guitar, and I just grabbed that one because I was beside it. And when I plugged it in, I did a second video just playing it because I wanted to like remember what it sounded like later. I was like, man, this guitar sounded amazing. But those were mine.
All right, Kiana.
I actually didn't really have time to check out any of the gear.
What?
I didn't get into any of the video rooms once, not even my own room.
I was thinking that. So you had your own room.
Yeah, I had my own room, but I wasn't really in it. No, I actually didn't try any of the gear. When we were setting up, I got to try the acoustic Framus guitars, which I'd never done before, so that was cool. But that's really the only thing I can talk about.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, the only videos I got to make were, here's a camera, look, here's some YouTubers on the floor, and I quickly sat down with Martin Miller and but I didn't really get to book any room or do it. I mean, there was just too much stuff to do. There's anything that was falling through the cracks because, you know, there was a problem with the export or a file was converted Mac when it had to be PC, whatever. I had to catch it because I wanted this event to work. So I literally ended up with, I'm going to call it scraps. I uploaded the panel discussions, any kind of footage I could grab that was something Guitcon related, but I wasn't also really part of, you know, people making videos. So there was a lot of stuff I wasn't part of, which is the big regret I have. But that also comes back to not having enough helpers and having to make sure that everything worked out. That's kind of the thing I think when you organize it, that you're stuck with that. So in terms of gear, wait, oh yeah.
Is that it, Robert, right there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful guitar. The thing
Isn't
that
it? Wow.
I just sent you a picture of it.
the thing that I loved was the guitar that made me sound awesome. All of a sudden, I felt like, what, I can play like that? I had no idea. And apparently it came through in the video that I made with Martin Miller sitting at Ibanez, which was that Ibanez prototype that he had.
Oh, yeah, the one that looked like a Suhr guitar.
Yeah, the one with
Talon?
the
Like the
not so pointy headstock.
That
And
they said we couldn't video.
really?
Yeah, I tried a video, and they're like, yeah, you can't. They said they had to get permission, but then they never came back to me.
Oh, good. I just did.
Well,
I
there,
just
yeah.
released a 30-minute video with Martin Miller sitting there
Yeah.
talking about this is the proto. No one told me.
With
And,
the, it's got the baked maple neck, right? And it's like a
Yeah,
Suhr guitar. Yep.
well, no one told me, and I did it. They didn't bitch about it at all. So and that guitar just played so nice.
yeah, so you did the video. You're going to put it up when? Tomorrow? Or when
It
you
is
putting
up.
Oh, it is up. So I'll put a link when this recycles in the description as well, so you guys can check it out. This is going to be really Ibanez's attack against the Suhr market. Did they give you a price? Did they tell you what that thing's streaming for?
They're gonna have a high-priced Prestige, so we're probably talking in the 3K range for Ibanez a lot,
Oh,
and they're gonna have a lower price,
No
probably
mas.
premium, maybe probably over $1,000. So they're gonna have two models. That's what I know, and I know it's like the Ibanez has all the metal-y stuff, and then they have the, I don't know, a beginner market, but then they're not covering the toned down kind of, I can play fusion or blues with it guitars, and I think this is the perfect. It fills a hole that Ibanez has in their lineup.
Yes. So, so my piece of gear, I have two as well. I think somebody took two, so I'm going to do two. For me, one was the two notes, the things that were in the rooms, the things that we were using to record with. Believe it or not, it's because I've been playing bass for so long. Being a bass player, you DI a lot. You know, I've used Sansamp, I've used Radial, I've used a ton of bass DI equipment, Eden, and because of that, and it sounds great, I've never liked any DI guitar stuff. Everything always just is horrific. And I think it's because back to like those Line 6 kidney beans. I thought, you know, when you would go DI, you know what I mean, record, everything just sounded horrible. So I know you guys use 2 notes, and I know I see people use 2 notes, and I've never tried any of that stuff ever. And even the 2 notes guys were like, hey, are you interested? And I was like, I don't know. I've never tried it. And then when I went in the room, the first time I was in the room and I plugged in, I go, oh, this sounds great. And then like, oh yeah, it's going the 2 notes direct. And I was honestly like shocked. In fact, what happened was funny was when I did the video with Glenn Fricker, we were supposed to do a video about guitars, which is why everybody keeps saying, why are we holding guitars? But seconds before they had to start the camera, I go, we got to talk about the 2 notes because I got so excited about 2 notes. So that was the thing. And the other thing that shocked me was the Ibanez Gem, the yellow one.
Yeah.
That guitar was great because it's a fantastic guitar. In fact, I like the neck and everything about it, but I've been contemplating buying another Gem because I have 2 of the old ones. And it was really great to put my hands on one and get it out of my system. Because as great as it was, it's not very familiar to the original ones.
You like the $125 carbon fiber tremolo arm?
Yeah.
If you went to go buy that, I think it's $124.99 on the website.
I didn't get that. Did you like that? It felt like somebody stuck a plastic sheet over the plastic tubing over the whammy arm.
It's a little bit larger because it's like a little bit larger tube. I'm assuming to increase stiffness, and it's carbon fiber, so it's obviously very light. So it does feel very. I don't know. We equate weight with sturdiness.
Yes.
And even though it's carbon fiber and it's stiff and it's probably not going anywhere.
Except for, okay, so is the whole bar carbon fiber?
And I had it, and it's $125.
Which trim arm are you referring to?
The trim arm that comes with that yellow Gem.
Oh, right, okay.
But what I didn't understand was, so maybe Pixxy knows. So was it the steel arm and it had a carbon fiber sheath, or was the whole thing carbon fiber?
Oh, no, it's steel where it goes into the body. Right, where it goes into the trem itself, into the block.
But the
and
arm
then it takes the corner, and right after it takes the corner, I think it's carbon fiber from there on out. And they just glue it on, I think.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I would just buy the arm without having a guitar. Just having that
for $100.
Just like having it and holding it and going to the store with it and just like having that tremolo arm.
Truth be told, the 1 1/4 is like on their website, and they're like MSRP. Like, you could probably get it cheaper if you bought it through almost anywhere else.
All right. Look, I already know, because I'm an Ibanez guy just like Pixxy, that the Ibanez arms are already ridiculously priced at $30, $40 a piece anyways. Okay, so I'm not naive to it, okay? That's why every guy who sells an Ibanez on Reverb and eBay doesn't have the arm. They keep them, right? I've had to buy 2 or 3 now because every time I find an Ibanez with a deal, they're like, oh, I don't have the arm. I'm like, right. But even that carbon fiber arm is just crazy money. You know what I mean?
And it's like, I mean, it's nice, but I don't know that. I mean, I guess it's a personal preference thing. Maybe if I got used to it, but I don't know any arm that light.
Well, it's huge. It's like you're holding
it's got a good size diameter too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like a Barbie doll leg or something. I don't know. It's all. It feels weird. What a weird analogy, huh?
Yeah.
I have a daughter, so
that one was a little creepy.
Can you just have like one of your whammy bars now on your guitar? It's just a Barbie doll leg.
Could you imagine? That's gonna be a thing now. People are gonna have.
That's like the Toy Story scene with all like the contorted toys.
Yeah.
Did anybody play with the Sustainiac on the Satriani model?
That thing was sick.
I did on the Schecter, not the Satriani, but.
Oh right, that's right. The Schecter had a Sustainiac.
That is the most addicting thing in the world because having that perfect feedback, it's like the first time you have a wah pedal or a whammy bar, you just suddenly every note needs to be wad and whammy.
It's an EBO built right in.
Yeah, it's an EBO. That's right. I was just thinking the same thing.
I
Yep.
did the audio for Gearmanndude's video. I didn't see the video, but he lost the audio because there was a problem, so I rendered it out again, so I listened to the thing. And he did the Schecter and the Ibanez based on the idea, let's check out the Sustainiac, and he had never used one and had no idea, and I loved his introduction. So I don't know what this is or how it's done, so let's do it. So he discovers it for the first time, and obviously as a classic tele player, for him that's foreign, but that's probably a very interesting video to watch where he plays with that for the first time. And he did the Schecter and the Ibanez in that video.
Yes. Okay, so
how did you guys like Interviewmanndude?
What was that?
The Interviewmanndude videos that he did.
They've been awesome.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing mine.
I watched a few in there. I thought he was brilliant in them.
I just enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah.
Because the fact that just to hear his perspective, you know what I mean? I mean, it was just really cool. And I really could understand. I think all of us probably has the same story of some degree, where he was talking about the fact that, him not showing his face, that was accidental. You know what I mean? He went down a path and that's how it was. The funny thing is I feel the same about my channel. I've done a bunch of things that now I'm like, that's what I do now. You know what I mean? Because that's what you know what I mean? You just go down a road and then that's what you do. So I could really relate to him when he was telling me that stuff. I really made me feel good about like, oh yeah, well, I do stuff on my channel now because that's the same thing. I'm down that road.
Kiana was an accident.
You could have said that in so many different ways. You suck.
No, I don't. Her being on my channel was just a thing we did because another student of mine was here on like an internship kind of thing, and I said, well, then let's get Kiana and the two of you do a clown comparison video, and then people really liked that, and then she just stayed on. I think there's a whole bunch of things that we do by accident, like me wearing ugly sweaters. It's not like that was planned.
I think that's more purpose.
But one day I wore an ugly sweater and people commented. If people comment, they're involved. So I go out regularly now and buy a whole bunch of ugly sweaters.
I liked your cat whisker sweater. I thought that was pretty cool.
So ask Robert how hot that is.
Yeah, that.
Well, so when we were doing the Leo video, right? The Leo video, I thought Henning was gonna faint.
But right back at you, Phil. Right back at you.
Because I was next to him and he had that sweater on and he's like, it's so hot. And I'm like, well, why are you wearing a sweater?
Yeah, that thing was super hot.
But so sexy, so sexy.
Okay, so next question. All right, this will be a good one too. So what did you take away that improved your channel? So what now has made your channel better now because you went there?
I'll start.
Ooh, silence.
I'll start.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
I mean, me with my tiny channel, I had a lot to gain. But the thing I really took away from this was self-confidence. Because I'm a really insecure person. And I've been getting so many comments, also from Henning and my mom and my friends, saying that my videos were really different at Guitcon. And I think, for one, being in charge for, a lot of stuff, supervising, that gave me a confidence boost, but also talking to you guys and just talking to other YouTubers and seeing how they are real life and not on camera, seeing the differences and what's the same, that just kind of helped me being in front of the camera. So that was really valuable for me.
You know, I have this
Nice answer.
Yeah, very nice answer. I had the same almost experience. To me, talking to everyone, hearing that, I don't want to say problems, but obstacles that everyone has, I have. You know what I mean? The obstacles I have with my channel, everybody seems to have those obstacles. It was really inspiring to talk to like Tyler from Music Is Win and Leo, and literally here they had almost the same issues. You know what I mean? At their level they are now. So, you know, and instead of like, wow, I guess it never ends. It was more of like, oh, I thought it was just because, you know, my situation. But the thing I took away for me was that it made me really more aware of how I create content and how I should probably focus more on how I create my certain type of content. Because being there, I think all of us, we were inspired to do some videos that are outside of our content, the normal content we make. Yeah. And seeing that was, to me, that was a positive, but also seeing it like, wow, okay, now I really see why maybe things on my channel work the way they do. And maybe, you know what I mean? And keep me hyper focused on doing that more. So that was good for me. Who's next?
So quiet.
Yeah, so quiet. Somebody said, what kind of issues? I don't want to take up too much time, but so you know, one thing that was probably liberating for everybody, at least for me, so maybe I'm speaking for myself, for everybody, was being at that event and being treated totally different than I'm treated when I'm dealing with companies usually, was a very... He's laughing because it's true, you know.
I know.
To have a company not only talk to me, but sometimes, you know, I will never talk about the companies and what they've done, but it's there's no shortage of stories for me of where I've tried to do something to help a company and then pretty much slap it in my face. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm not asking for money, gear, time, anything. I'm just saying, hey, I have an idea and it's going to help you guys. And so that wears on me and makes me feel like maybe I should stop bothering them. So like I said, sometimes when you go there and you hear other people have that trouble too, and you're like, okay, cool. I thought it was me. Maybe they hated me. Or also seeing somebody treat you better, you think, okay, well, maybe I'll just keep going, you know what I mean? And looking for the right companies.
Well, Phil and I, we talked about this in length.
Yeah.
There were nights and nights where we hang out on Skype and just talk about that, let's call it a problem, where our problem is we are independent YouTubers. We don't have a store to go to. We don't have the stuff ahead of time like some stores or whatever. So for us to do reviews is difficult, and it's reviews. It's not necessarily demos. A demo is easy. Here, this is what it sounds like. But we want to give our viewers an opinion, and hopefully an opinion that matters to the viewers. Which here's the very difficult thin line that we're working on. Phil said, you know, not necessarily getting paid. I need to get paid for what I do because this is my job. I have to generate money with it, which means I have to tell companies, you have to send me gear. You also have to pay me something for my airtime, not for my opinion that can never be bought, but for using my airtime. But you cannot tell me what to say. And that's the same thing with Guitcon. You know, come there, but I can't guarantee that something gets made. Well, pay me, but I can't guarantee you that it's all going to be positive. And I love that I work with some companies that really have no problem with that whatsoever. I can say whatever I want, and they understand that it is, bottom line, it's still going to be exposure. And some companies are actually then improving their products based on what we say. But this is a really tough sell, and it is something that, no, it's not a flashlight that I'm holding. It's a cup. What the? I'm going to put that down. Let's just saw the comment. So making these connections with the companies is half my day is spent trying to convince companies to work with me. So one thing that I wanted to happen for Guitcon was to make that easier for us, to finally not have to fight so hard, to show them that we as a united front have something to give to the guitar community, which is honest opinions to our viewers, and that what we do has a value. Because these companies will drop thousands on print ads that are in a magazine for 4 weeks. It's on your bathroom floor. It doesn't make a sound. And they will spend so much more money on their print ad than on a video, which will be on YouTube forever, makes a sound, has a guy there that can support it with an opinion. And I try to have Guitcon send that message to the companies that working with us isn't a bad thing. Even though we say what we think, it is still not, it is something they can benefit from. And I actually don't really know in how far I achieved that goal.
I think you did a good job. I mean, I literally got, I was funny going on the airplane there.
You're getting a lot of echo, Philip.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where it's coming from because I don't have a, is it better?
Yes. Something just changed.
When I was getting on the plane to go to Guitcon, I was reading an email response from a company, from the president of a company, who told me they didn't want me to be involved. I asked to review a piece of gear. They flat out told me that, very not nicely too, in the email, they can't trust what I'm going to say, so they're not interested. They said, after reviewing your catalog, we can see we really don't know where you're coming from, or we can trust what you're going to say. We're not interested.
You know what I usually do to something like that? And this is just me. There's no right or wrong here. For me, the easy way out of that is if I don't like something, I won't waste your time and I won't waste my time. So now, with that said, I could be really excited about something, but say, hey, you know, this microphone, I love this microphone. I use it all the time. I just wish the buttons were on the other side, you know, that type of thing. You could be constructive and not say it's the holy grail. But if you just outright, and maybe that's what you need to express to the company. My goal isn't to bury you.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm reaching out to you is because I'm genuinely excited about what you have.
Yeah.
Trust me a little bit. And if something goes horribly wrong, I will let you know and I'll ship it back.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. It's there are companies, and I'm going to point out some. Orange, for example. They love the constructive criticism. If we have a product, or if I have a product where I would have to say, please don't buy this, there's no point in making a video. But
Correct.
If I can say, look, it would have really been nice if those plugs would have been over here so I don't have to bend down.
Right.
Or things like this. Or it would have been nice to have 12-inch instead of 10-inch speakers or whatever. This is all not saying don't buy this. This is something that is my opinion, and if people prefer 10s, well, then they love the product. And Orange is a company that absolutely embraces those honest reviews. I just did a review for the Engel Iron Ball and for the new combo. And I said, look, when you're standing in front of it, it's Vox style, and it's on top, the controls, and it's reversed. So when you're standing behind it, you see the controls. When you're standing in front of it, you have to, turn your head around. That's stupid. So I just talked to the head developer, and he's like, yeah, because of what you said, now I have to go back to the drawing board and change the PCB. We have to see how we make that happen. Well, you know what? It was stupid, because who wants to stand in front of their combo and, read upside down? But they listened, and they're now possibly thinking about changing it. So they're not mad, because they saw in all the comments. What we do is market research. If what I say in terms of critique is mirrored by the viewers, then they know it's something that can possibly sell more because they change it. A company that doesn't embrace that is throwing away very expensive market research, which we can do for them by just looking into the comments. There's companies who get that, companies who don't get it. There's companies that called me an unguided missile. Well, you can't guide this missile.
Who called you that?
Big Japanese company.
yeah.
Phil knows.
Yeah, and that's the kiss and tell thing. That's why I said I'll never tell anybody what companies, because first of all, because I haven't given up with trying to build relationships with companies that I call, like what Henning's talking about. You guys can kind of relate. I actually call it 4 up, 1 down, which means every product I don't care how much I like or don't like a product. Well, mostly I like a product. Even if I like a product so much that it's my favorite product in the world, I can find 4 great things and 1 bad thing about it. And so almost all my reviews, I don't care how much I like a product. It's I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, and this thing I think they can improve, or this thing I wish, you know what I mean? And I don't find that to be a negative. I just think, hey, you know, no matter what you have, you kind of want to critique it a little bit. But so let's, because we're going on 2 hours, so we're gonna have to kind of sum this up. Let's hit one more good question. Anyone got a question before I add another question? Any that you'd like to all of us to answer? Anyone? You guys are quiet.
Are you asking us if we have a question?
Yeah. Is there something you
the feed?
I thought you were asking the feed too.
No. Well, yeah, the feed too. But you guys too. If you guys, you know, is there a question you guys have, you know, that you'd like everybody to answer?
I don't think so.
Your PIN code?
Your PIN code.
What is your social security number?
Yeah.
No one's listening.
And I go back to bed.
Yes. So I stole this question from the Tone King's channel, our show last night. I thought it was a great question somebody asked him, which was, what YouTuber did you wish or was hoping would be there that wasn't there?
Greg Koch.
Well, yeah, he was going to be there.
I'm a huge fan of his playing. He was the guy that I was really hoping could make it, and he just couldn't. But that's okay. But I am a huge fan of his playing.
Let me talk about Greg. I talked to him, best guy in the world. He loved the idea. There's a problem with him for him being there, which is that he doesn't really do YouTube.
Yeah, he works.
He just does a lot of YouTube.
Yeah,
which
he
means
works for Steve.
One guy that gets hired by Wildwood Guitars to do videos. Now, for him to be there, the benefit would have been to create videos for himself, for his channel, which is not something he pursues.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I just like his playing.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is,
I'm completely selfish. I just, you know.
Absolutely. But the thing is, for him to be there, it would have been. He gets paid by Wildwood to do videos. That's no secret. So that means Wildwood would have had to have an interest for him to create content there to post on their channel. That would have worked. But Wildwood is doing videos for individual guitars that they're trying to sell, which wouldn't have been there. So Greg totally would have wanted to be there, but taking a week out of his time to create content for a channel that he's not making money with simply didn't make sense. And I fully understand that. And that was one of the problems. We have to have YouTubers that find a benefit in being there. Because that's also a question that people might have. Did anyone get paid? Heck no.
Right.
I'm very clearly saying no one's getting paid to be there.
Are you saying my check's not coming?
No, it ain't. I thought
some of us got paid.
I thought that if I invited someone like some of the big guys, like maybe Rob Scallon or someone like this, you know, they might want to be paid for this. And I kind of was prepared for someone with over 1 million subs to, you know, maybe give him something. But then Leo immediately was like, no, I'm coming. That's awesome. And I said, you know what, if Leo is just the coolest guy and comes and doesn't even say he wants something for this because he can bring a lot to the table in terms of boosting, you know, the views, then I said, no one's getting anything for this. What we're putting on is a cool event, and if you want to be part of this, fine, but no one is getting a kickback to be part of this.
You know what the kickback was? The fact that we were invited.
Exactly.
And you know what? That was you can't put a price on that.
No.
And what I'm going to do, and I'm going to say this right here, there were companies that trusted me. And if we get a lot more companies next year, that's fine. But some of the companies that were there, they got something good. They got something, they have my trust because they believed in something that many other brands didn't. Believing in it now is easy. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Just like you guys. You heard the call. They're like, I don't know what's going to happen, but hey, let's see. There were some YouTubers that had reasons. They gave me reasons why they couldn't come. but they weren't actually the reason. They just didn't want to come because they didn't know what was going to happen. So if they want to come the second time, again, hindsight's 2020. They're absolutely invited. They have great channels. They're great guys. But I'm going to say at least part of the expense, they're going to have to flip. They're going to have to pay themselves. If they want to be there the second time, they're not getting a full ride. I think that is absolutely fair. Because they could have been there the first time. Now we made it work. Why give them a full ride the second time? So it's totally okay for someone to say, look, this is a cool event. We're putting it all on. Pay for your flight if you want to be there.
Hey, Henning, can I just change the topic for 1 second? Earlier, I think, Philip, you had asked the question of what could we do differently next time?
Right.
I don't know what made me just think of this. Some people reached out to me saying, hey, could we meet you there? Could we come?
Yes.
Maybe we do one public day where let's just say the last day, Friday, and maybe it's not even in the facility, because I could see Warwick saying, listen, we have a business to run and we can't have the public come.
They'll do this. They have the showroom. It's totally fine.
So maybe we could do a public day where the public could come and hang, meet their favorite YouTubers, maybe jam a little bit, maybe sign some stuff, take some pictures. I think if we added that dynamic, because the other thing was, someone asked me on my my live thing yesterday, was 5 days too long? And I said, that's a good question, because 3 days would have been too short. But 5 days almost seemed just enough. But I think 5 days, we still have enough time in there to do it like a public day type of thing. What do you think about that? What does everybody think about that?
I mean, I think that I don't think it was necessarily enough time, because by Wednesday or Thursday, pretty much the days were booked. I mean, I remember there was that
Wednesday.
So there were still videos, like me and Pete were talking. I'm like, oh man, we should have done this video or this. And I was like, oh well, we'll just have to wait, because we went up to the board and I'm like, yeah, the board's full.
But do you think this 5 days is enough time to do a public day, to incorporate that without having to extend it further?
I think it would have to be extended further.
Really?
I don't think the 5 days was enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, technically, me and Pixxy, I don't know about you guys, we were there for 6, because we were already hit the ground running. Me and Pixxy hit the ground running basically on Sunday.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So I got there Sunday. So.
Yeah, and I still left Friday afternoon, just sad that I feel like I missed 1,000 opportunities.
Yeah, that's what.
It's exciting.
Like every moment was fleeting.
Yeah.
It was like you were always like, it felt like you were going, oh man, I got to get something done. It was almost a constant state of panic.
Yes, a constant state of panic, and there was moments where I was so exhausted, but I'm like, I got to get up and keep going. You know what I mean? But you were just exhausted. But so.
Dan Steinhardt had a good idea for a public day. He also requested that. I got a lot of questions, can we come? And no, it's not a public event. And of course, telling that to our viewers who make the channels what they are hurt me every single time. I had to say, no, I'm sorry, it's not public. A, if it's public, it turns into NAM, which we don't want. And B, we're there to work. We're there to make videos. If we mingle with the fans, we're distracted from what we're actually there to do, which is provide content to them. But I think if we did one day, which wouldn't mean all of us would have to be, doing meet and greet all day. We could still do what we do and, go down to where the fans are for an hour, for 2, whenever we're not busy. But Dan had a good idea. What about other smaller YouTube channels that want to come and hang for the day? Let them come with their cameras, let them make videos and do meet and greet with us, and just, we talk about YouTube and we help other smaller channels, which I think whether we do that in our main area or somewhere else, I think generally that's a good idea. The big thing is it mean to ask those people to come to Markneukirchen, which is in nowhere,
Mm.
You know what I'm trying to
Well,
say?
maybe that gets back to, and again, I don't remember who said it, but having another one in, who mentioned, Philip, you had mentioned about maybe PRS doing something like that here. Maybe we could do I mean, listen, I'm thinking way outside of the box, but what if we did like quarterly guitar cons, right?
Well, on a side note, because I was curious. I don't know about you guys, but I've been very curious since I've been back and very exhausted. So I've been spending a lot of time in front of my computer. I can tell you without a doubt, the channels that received the biggest benefit. I mean, we all benefited hugely from the experience, and it was great. And it was seriously, no joke, one of the best experiences in my entire life. I would put it in my top 2 experiences of my entire life. But brass tacks numbers, the smaller channels saw the biggest benefit. If you looked at all the channels with the smallest subscriber rates and views, they tripled, quadrupled, 10 times their numbers. Where the mid to higher channels, if you look at their numbers really didn't move too much. And so the reason I'm pointing it out is just because what Henning was saying, is it fair for a smaller channel to have to kind of absorb some of the cost for them to get there? Well, yeah, because they're going to see a huge benefit, because they're going for, we all know, because we're all basically the same size channel, right? I mean, give or take, we all are sitting, in the same size channel area.
More like take.
Yeah, what?
More like take.
Yeah, but I mean, at least in my opinion, it's a very hard and impossible road to get your channel to where it is. And so, and I think all of us have had a moment where the channel jumps a little bit, and that moment is very exciting, right? And so going to GitCon for a small channel is almost an opportunity to put their channel on the map. So that's something they have to consider. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
good point.
What do you guys think about GitCon in a setting like at a place like Thomann, for example, where it wouldn't be in a guitar factory, which is absolutely amazing, but at a place where it's like a huge store, all the gear is there, and we can roam freely and do whatever we want. Would you think that that's another interesting aspect? Because it would obviously be a completely different experience, but would it work in a setting like that?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with their physical plant. Is it similar in that they would have conference rooms, places you could do separate, more isolated videos?
Of course. It would be just like GitCon, but instead of being in a guitar factory where we can film the factory and all this, we have a playground of not just those 20 brands, but we'd have a playground of, anything. Thomann is the largest online retailer in the world. Instead of filming the guitar factory, which now we kind of have, you'd be looking at the warehouse, which is, you can't even imagine what kind of facility that is. Rob's been there. I'm just trying to see what is that something, because they've voiced that, they might be interested. Of course, Warwick would host it again any second, but maybe it could be a Warwick Thomann combined partnership. I'm just looking at alternatives. So do you think that would feel more commercial?
That might be a lot easier for the smaller channels or the public day, because it's in an easier to reach location than 3 miles off the Czech border.
Well, I think at Thomann,
at Henning's house. Not that I haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, at Thomann though, you could probably even have more. I mean, obviously there's the issue of more cameras, but I mean, they actually have like a studio and all kinds of stuff already set up. So I mean, you potentially could be even more rooms for videos and stuff like that there.
Yeah, I think to me, and maybe I think to me the magic of what I experienced at GitCon was, besides Henning's idea. I mean, obviously that was the magic. He created this idea, but it was 2 parts to the equation. It was Henning's idea, but then it was Hans being so crazy and great to go, yeah, just run amok, do whatever. I mean, that's where I felt like when I got there immediately, I felt like at home, do whatever I want. Everything's fine. You know,
it felt VIP. It felt like we were being taken care of. It felt like we had excellent facilities, excellent food. I mean, pretty much there was really no complaints about anything other than the crazy fast driver. Everything else was A+.
And I did it there. I wanted it there because I wanted everyone to feel what I felt at the base camps. It is immediately a part of the family. So, I mean, I didn't choose that location because he was the only one who was going to put up the money. I knew that it would feel like this there.
Yeah.
So
and the ending at 6 o'clock every night and going down to that other facility, I mean, that really made sense. It switched gears. People had a chance to have a cocktail and then some dinner and then, go up and do the live show and then the jam. I mean, it sort of worked. I mean, we squeezed a lot of content out of every minute of the day. I mean, the only thing I'd be worried about changing facilities is like, that was a pretty good lineup.
That was a good setup for sure.
It was. It was absolutely a good setup. So you'd just be worried about, like, don't overthink it. And, the next thing you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So okay. So this, I mean, obviously this is good to discuss all these options too.
Yeah.
But because it's like I said, we're running a little long, and then what we'll do is we'll finish up. So let's I'll do next because on the last question was who would I like to see there that wasn't there. For me, it would probably be the Samurai Guitarist. I like that channel a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say something which probably just to let people know, because I see a lot of the comments. One of the magic things that happened at GitCon was the content creators I thought were vast and different, but were like-minded in the attitude of camaraderie. So a lot of people, when they're suggesting some channels, I think anybody would be great at these events, but some of these channels, they don't seem to get along with others very well. So you gotta factor that in a little bit. You know what I mean? But for me, that's what I liked about it. All the channels were different, but I got along with everybody fine. No one, even channels that were Glenn Fricker is somebody put a comment that was amazing. He is the exact opposite channel of my channel, but we got along great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came on my channel and he actually, I said, hey man, you can't say any bad words. And, he looked at me for a second and then he's like, all right, you know what I mean? And that's a huge deal, because if you can't make that decision with me, we can't collaborate. So collaboration is a big part of this. You could be totally different, but you got to come to some kind of common ground.
Mm-hmm. Wait a second. I have to jump in there because Any Day 82 is saying Phil is talking about Jason. I don't think Phil is talking about Jason.
No, I like Jason.
Jason's a loudmouth in front of the camera. He's like me. He moves in wherever he jumped in the picture. He jumps on stage. He's excitable, and Jason is. If you meet him behind the camera, he's really one of the sweetest guys. He's a kid in a candy store, and he's excited. So I don't think it was cool to throw him in a video with the Tone King and just say what he said.
But I thought it was. Sorry.
But other than that, Jason is a great guy.
He's great.
And there's quite some dislike for him, but I don't think it's justified.
So everybody knows, first of all, I thought the Tone King was amazing in that video. And then I think because the Tone King was amazing, that's what I talked about. Jason and the Tone King, they jammed on stage later that week. They were doing great. Jason, Jason's a nice guy. Me and Pixxy met Jason 10 minutes after we arrived. He immediately is like, you guys want to ride? I mean, right?
Drove us over to the factory, did the Ibanez unboxing.
He's a nice guy. He's just intense.
With him.
Yeah. He's just intense. And I know I rub people the wrong way because... You can go now. Thank you, Kiana. It was nice knowing you. So I know the kind of response he's getting because it's a similar response I'm getting. But it's if you know how to take what he says, he's a cool guy. He's an Aussie. He just is very uncensored.
Yeah. But so you know, and I really so you know, I really feel that me and Jason are friends now. I talked to him after the show, after the Guitcon, and you know, he is a nice guy. You know how I know? He cares about how it ended up. You know what I mean? He asked me, how do you feel that people feel about what I did? I mean, he's aware of how it ended, and he's like all of us. He's excited about what he's excited about, and then that excitement took him down a road I don't think he wanted to go down originally.
Yeah, I saw Gearmanndude, and I hung with Jason at the airport on the way out, and Pete Thorne came by.
Right.
And he's like, love to talk, but I'm carrying a separate guitar and I'm really freaked out and I got to be in this line right up front. He goes, so I don't have any problems getting this guitar on this flight. And we were like, that's cool. But yeah, no, I hung with Jason in the airport, you know, and plus he was pretty much my ride back every night with Phil and you, Phil, the two Phils.
Yeah. So, yeah. So no, I genuinely, I don't know. I really feel like I made friends with almost every channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was amazing.
And since the whole Jason thing was about me, I'll share my 2 cents on that. You know, Jason did have a bone to pick, and he was very clear about that. Oh, did we just lose Philip?
I think so.
I had to blow my nose.
Oh, okay, there you go. So Jason clearly had a bone to pick. You know, he's passionate about Ibanez, and I actually thanked him for giving me the opportunity to clarify that, because I think a lot of people were misunderstood over the video. To be frank, some of the stuff he said I didn't like, and I told him that. And he, even afterwards, he apologized to me, which I accepted. And he and I were cool. And Philip, like you said, you know, we jammed on stage, which is a musician's way of breaking bread. And, you know, everything worked out well. So there's certainly no hard feelings. You know, I don't think he has any hard feelings, and I certainly don't. But it was, you know, it was a tough interview, I think, for people to watch because, you know, just of how it went down. But I just tried to stay very agnostic and just answer the questions and try to clear up any confusion, which I think I did, and hopefully I did. And that's kind of where we're at. And Philip, like you said, you know, I think everybody walked away happy and, you know, feeling good about the week. So no hard feelings here, you know.
Okay, so anyone have any last comments about anyone they'd like to see next year?
I know the one guy. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him. I'm just a huge kind of like Pixxy, how you went with Greg because you like his playing so much. Have you heard of Sean Tubbs on YouTube?
Didn't have time.
Anyone? Yeah, he's Carrie Underwood's guitar player.
No idea who that is. Can't be cool.
Can't be cool. Yeah, sorry, it's not Hanson.
Come on, Guitcon or Carrie Underwood?
Yeah.
Come on. No, Sean is amazing. And for me, I didn't pick channels because of subs. I picked channels because of quality content and how much money they wired me. No, if I see a channel that has great content, Sean doesn't have a lot of subs, I don't care. Yeah. Great guy, great player, great content. Of course he can come. I talked to him, but he couldn't do it because he wasn't with Carrie Underwood. So Brad Kingman. Who wouldn't want Brad Kingman there?
Yeah,
I think I talked to Brad 2 years ago as one of the first guys that I invited. But he had to be on tour. And the one other problem with Brad is I think he has serious back problems. So he would have needed a business or first class accommodation from Australia. And budget-wise, that simply we couldn't do. I would have had to not invite 3 other people.
Yeah.
So that really sucked because Brett's one of my heroes, and I would have loved for him to be there.
I like, for me, I like In the Blues. And you know, Shane's a good guy. He always tunes into pretty much, I think, all of our channels. And I think he was invited. I don't know any backstories. I'm just answering the question. It would have been cool if he could have hung with us, because I think he's very like-minded with what we do and how we do. You know.
Yeah, and I talked to Shane, and he was, you know, concerned. What we were all concerned about. He didn't know what we were all signing on for, and I would really like to see Shane come. I think he's a great guy, and man, what he would have loved it. There's no doubt he would have fit right in, and he would have had a good time.
He was concerned about it being a commercial event.
So was I.
But that I couldn't say more than, you don't have to touch a single guitar. You could bring your own and do whatever content. I mean, what I told everyone over and over, you do the content you're comfortable with. He had the feeling, which again, you guys had the same feeling, that he'd be obligated to do something, which again, it didn't turn out that way.
And maybe if that's how he felt, then he made the right decision for himself, which is okay, right?
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Which I respect. If
Yeah,
it
me
was,
too.
because like you said, Philip, I think we all agreed. We all kind of went there not knowing what we were going to do. Maybe for some folks that was too much. And if it was easier to just kind of respectfully bow out, I respect that, you know.
I do have one side note. I really was concerned about it, but I'll be honest. The reason I went, I had so many long discussions with Henning to know that he's crazy enough that I knew that because I was worried about, you know, are these companies going to own me? I mean, how's this going to work? You know, what are they going to do? And when I talked to Henning enough times to know that he's crazy enough to go, no, they're not going to, you know, you can do whatever you want and they're not going to say anything. So I believed that he was being honest. I really believed him. I judged his character, and I'm glad I did, because it's exactly what happened. And again, I want to say to Henning, thank you for pulling off a almost insurmountable task.
Yeah, Henning, you really did set the stage properly for us, because you set that expectation up front, which I have to believe that it was hard for you to do that, because you're asking a company, hey, come join us, and by the way, you have to pay, and by the way, there's no guarantees. That's a hard conversation. But you had that conversation,
yeah,
and you did it successfully, and there was no pressure. At least I didn't feel any pressure to cover anything. And even maybe there were some things that were, you know, I don't know, like one product that maybe I wouldn't have covered that I covered anyway, was because I wanted to. Because again, it goes back to the people. People were hanging out, and you wanted to do things, which was good for me and my channel and my viewers, because maybe they got to see some stuff that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. But I certainly at no point felt like I was obligated to do anything. And again, Henning, that's all because you set the expectation properly.
I had this conversation with the companies for my channel, and I had that conversation with the companies for Guitcon. It was absolutely essential that no one was forced to do anything they wouldn't do on their channel. If you would have never seen the Framus Warwick logo in any video, and you would have said, this is what I want to do for my channel, thanks for inviting me, but I don't want to have that logo in there, you would have absolutely had the right to do that, because it's your content.
Yeah,
I can't tell you what content to produce. And
because we weren't obligated to do anything, I think we all wanted to do that much more. Isn't it funny how that works?
I have a funny story I shouldn't tell, but I'm gonna tell it, and then we'll cut this off for the people.
I need to get a beverage. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Okay. Maybe I should tell it when the Tone King's not here. All right, I'm gonna tell it. Maybe the Tone King. Oh, he said he doesn't have headphones, so he can't hear us. Here he is. Okay. So here's what's funny. So I had this discussion with Henning one day, and he was upset. And like I said, we don't kiss and tell. So he was upset because a company didn't want to commit to Guitcon because they weren't being promised anything. And the company is a very good product. And when he told me about it, I said, oh, well, I like the product. Tell them that if they come, I guarantee them I will do a review of their product because I like the product. And I said, and I bet you if you ask a couple of YouTubers, they'll agree too. And Henning goes, absolutely not. They are not guaranteed anything. They will just, if they want to come, if they believe in this, they will pay and come. And what they get is what they get. Right? And I'm like, but it's okay. I mean, I love their product. I'll do it. He's like, no, you are not obligated. You
and that's the best part, right?
Right.
That's the best part.
Yes. And
Henning, hats off, man. Hats off to you.
Right. When I got off that call, I was like, man, he is absolutely crazy, and this is never going to happen.
Nice.
And you pulled it off.
Now I'm dying to know who that is. But I'm not going to ask. I wouldn't do that.
So,
if we want to make work, if we want to what we do, if we want to make it work, if we want to make it work and be honest and just be able to say whatever we want to say, then we have to make a stand and tell these companies what we do is worth something. What you buy if you pay us is not our opinion, never ever. It is airtime and access to our viewers with our opinion in between. Don't send us crap because we'll say it's crap. Send us good products, and if we find something that's wrong, fix it. Don't blame us for having created something that we don't like, okay? Don't blame us because some companies make crappy products, and then they say, oh, you shouldn't have said that. I'm like, no, you shouldn't have made a crappy product. And I'm gonna end it with this. I get paid by Joyo as a consultant. Everyone knows this. I work with them on product developments. I give them developers that I find that are cool, doing cool stuff like the Clowns Project. I come up with names. I do manual translations. I say this color is stupid. No, this knob should go a little bit further. If they send me something that I don't like, even though I was involved in the making of it and they didn't listen to me enough or whatever, I'm going to say it because on my channel, they don't own me. Okay, I help them make good products. If they don't make good products on my channel, I will state that it's not a good product because that's what I do on my channel. This is a tough conversation I have with my boss, but he just asked me to review 2 products. I'm like, no, I can't because I actually think they're crap. If I review them, I'm going to trash them. So no, I will not make reviews for you. If you want me to make these reviews and you're going to say, I'll pay you make them, then don't pay me anymore. We're done. Because that is the kind of stand we have to take if we want to make it work. So anyone who always comments he's a shill for Joyo and Harley Benton, you guys don't know what we go through. And that is the one troll comment that hurts me deeply when people are saying I say something good even though it's not. That hurts me so much because I put so much work into making these companies understand that they do not own me. I'm done.
okay, so unless anyone's got anything else, we'll call it for the live show. But before you go, I'd like each person to just reintroduce yourself, and I'll put links to all your channels in the description below. And just, say your name of your channel and anything else. Start with Pixxy, I guess. We'll go.
Pixxy Licks.
We don't know how to spell that.
Yeah.
It's 5 X's, okay? So you got 2 X's, you see? You start with a P, a couple of X's, got Y, got an L, got an I, but then there's 3 X's in a row. Everyone misses that last X.
Because it takes you to a different channel.
Yeah, probably does.
Okay, Robert?
Well, my name is Robert, and that's it. Just Robert Baker YouTube channel. I have no cool name with lots of X's in it, so
You should tack a few X's on. Just for good measure.
Robert Baker XX.
Yeah, just XXX.
So Robert, you're going to the big show in China next week. Are you going to be doing videos there or just performing there?
I'm going to try to do videos. Like I said, I'm not real sure what to expect, but yeah, pretty much just like performing. From looking at the schedule, I'll just be playing. But
okay, so that's. I just want to remind people that when they're checking out your channel, just keep in mind that content's coming too.
Yeah.
for next week?
Yeah, there'll be some videos. Someone's put my name with all X's. But yeah. So there'll be some content, but not like NAM content or anything like that, probably.
Really not.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Okay, next.
I'll go next.
Okay.
My name is Kiana Sommerfeld, and my channel is The Adventures of Guitar Girl.
And I'm Henning Pauli, and my channel is HP42. You can't spell it, don't try. It's a stupid name.
How many X's in it? I'm just gonna say, throw an X in there. There could be an X in HP42, and no one would know.
There's a few silent X's.
Yeah, a couple of silent X's.
And then,
So my name is Tony King, professionally known as the Tone King.
Hey, Tony.
that's going to
Tony.
stick.
Tony.
My real name's Lewis, but that's just not as fun and as exciting as Tony King, right? It's a long story. You have to watch some of the Guitcon stuff. I don't even know if we got that story in the Guitcon. I think it was maybe in my live show last night. My channel, interestingly enough, is just go to YouTube and type in the Tone King, and you'll find me there. Because like HP42, the channel name, being as old as it is, predates the Tone King stuff. And I'm just happy to be here hanging with you guys. I consider you all friends, including those tuning in. So many familiar faces here. And, I'm just happy to be here, talking gear with some like-minded folks. So give you all one of those right there.
You got to say bad boys.
Give you one of those bad boys right there.
I want to say
Bad boys.
I want to say, well, thanks to all the people watching. You guys are nuts anyway, we know that. But how this feels right now with you guys, Tony and Pixxy and Phil and the Baker Man, wherever he is, I think we lost him. This is different than the way we would have done it before. Seeing you in your normal environment and stuff. This is like hanging with buddies, and in a different way than it would have been before. So if that's all I wanted to achieve with Guitcon, we've totally created a united front and a family, and just friends. I come out of this with not a lot of footage, and less money on my account and a lot of energy spent, but I ended up with real friends, and that really means the world to me, guys.
I second that.
Yeah, me too. And then to everyone else, I want to thank everybody for hanging for 2.5 hours with us. And I hope that you guys learned some stuff about not just Guitcon, but, what we do. One thing I want to say about everyone here, including the one that's missing, Robert, everyone here does what they do because they love guitar, they love gear, and they love sharing it with people. And we're also lucky to get to share it with everybody. And Robert's coming back. And thank you guys for hanging and all the comments and questions and everything. And you guys are fantastic. And I'll leave you off since it's my channel. I don't need to tell you what channel it is, but I will leave you with and until next time, know your gear.